Peoria salutes the contributions of all the men and women who have answered the call in defense of their country and its freedoms. Men like Paul Cornell, who navigated between two wars. Women like Betty Blake, one of the first WASPs, when that acronym was for Women Air Service Pilots. She was flying tourists around scenic spots in the Hawaiian Islands when the war found her.
I had already had a commercial license and instructor's rating, and I married a Navy ensign whose ship was sunk at Pearl Harbor, the California he was on. And so he was at our house that night. He was spending the night at our house. And that saved his life because his roommate was torpedoed the next day. Torpedo went right through their bedroom on the California.
When the men who worked the assembly lines went into uniform, women took their place. This plant in Long Beach built 40 planes a day, and somebody had to deliver them.
So when I went to Long Beach, I was one of 3 girls and 2,000 men pilots.
The planes had never been flight tested. You just had to jump in and hope for the best.
We all went through ground school, and then one day they said to me, just go out and sit in the P-47 and read the tech order if you need to, and when you feel comfortable, fire it up and take off. And I read that tech order, and I said a lot of prayers, because never landed one or taken off, and I'm alone in it. And I went up and I flew around for a long time. They told me to do aerobatics and everything. I didn't do anything. I flew B-17s. I've flown 36 different planes. And I flew the 4-engine and the twin-engine. I never was checked out in a B-24. I flew co-pilot in a 24 a couple of times, but I was checked out in 17s and B-25s. Well, I flew P-38s too, the twin-engine, and I owned one. I was the first woman to buy a 38 at the end of the war when they were selling them surplus. That beautiful airplane, I paid $750 for, and it had 7 hours on it. And I let another girl that had flown them during the war, another WASP flight one day, and she cracked it up on takeoff. I was able to sell it as junk for $700, so I only lost $50 on it.
Paul Cornell's enlistment kept him in uniform from the end of World War II to the beginnings of the Korean conflict. He flew mostly the big birds, B-29s, C-47s.
One time, that C-47, when we were flying into Daegu the first time, we received a couple of bullets in the tail of the airplane from ground fire. But that was the only time. The next time we flew a little higher.
Paul flew medevac missions carrying wounded soldiers back to the hospitals, and there he learned the difference between a grunt and a zoomie.
The worst part of it was that they always felt that they were the underdog and we were the elite. The flight crews, you weren't doing anything. We did all the hard stuff. And I had to agree with them. What could I say? I was doing the safe job, but we were all doing what we were trained to do.
And then there was the war that never happened. Following the surrender of Nazi Germany, one of Army Captain Jack Nemirov's duties was to estimate the total value of American equipment remaining in Europe at the end of the war. He came up with a total of about $4 billion, and he took that guess to his colonel.
I said, "Sir, what's this for?" He says, "Well, this is not for publication, but we're drawing up plans on how we can defeat the Russian army." They had plans all set. They figured that they could wipe out the Russian army at the end of war in 3 weeks. We had over 1 million combat troops in Europe at that time. $4 billion worth of equipment. We would not have had an Iron Curtain. We would not have had Russia taking over Eastern Europe. But Harry Truman said, "No, stop. That's it."
Memories like those are rapidly fading as the veterans fade at a rate of over 1,000 a day. Maybe you have a recollection untold to share about your service in uniform. The names of the conflicts probably don't matter, but your stories do. Call us at the number on your screen. And stay with us for more military moments on Peoria 11.